Meanwhile, back at the Jets ranch, one winning drive. Is that what it is? One Jets drive?
One Jets drive.
I don't know. There's another winning drive. Everyone's got a drive. Meanwhile, back in Jets training camp. It's just weird to me. I can't. It's just. Aaron Rodgers said the other day that it's about how they handle success. It's going to be about handling success, is what he said. I think this is what he said going out the door on Thursday's show. And I said, basically, Aaron, the floor is yours on that because we don't know how to handle success. It's tough to know how to handle success when you haven't had success for a dozen years. Think about it. There's a young man somewhere in the New York, New Jersey metropolitan area, many of them, I'm sure, who will be bar mitzvahed this year and become men in the eyes of the Lord, of the Jewish faith. Mm-hmm. And they haven't seen the Jets make the playoffs.
True.
12 years. Longest playoff drought in professional sports, tied with the Buffalo Sabres of Western New York, the National Hockey League. So when Aaron says they got to figure out how to handle success, it's something I'm going to have to take my cue from him because I don't. It doesn't compute. It doesn't compute when I see him at the podium or see him in a Jets helmet. He put on the Jets helmet and uniform for a bunch of these photos that the Jets are putting out over the weekend, including their new white throwbacks that they are going to wear on opening night against the Bills and then bust them out again in week 4. They're finishing up their first month with Rodgers there. They're taking on in week 4 the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday night. So they're going to wear their white throwbacks in their first nationally televised game of Monday night against the Bills, and then their white throwbacks against the Kansas City Chiefs on NBC in week 4. And again, I don't know how to take this because this is a sign of success that everybody's seeing it and talking about it. And Rodgers gets up at the podium, and he's an actual quarterback who commands attention and respect. With all due respect to Zach Wilson and Sam Darnold and everyone before him, and that includes even Sanchez. When Sanchez was up there winning games, we're like, how long can this possibly last? Is he the guy? Because they're running. It's the ground and pound with the defense. And then he starts eating hot dogs on the sidelines and then loses his gig to Tebow, and it's like, okay. It's been a long time. Favre might be the last quarterback who took the podium for the Jets, and it's like, okay, he's got this. Handling success. And the latest example of I don't know how to handle it is this video that went viral over the weekend of Rodgers practicing and rolling out. And I understand it's practice. I understand it's early and it's just, July. We're still knocking hard. But he just throws it, puts it up in the air, and puts it in a spot that only Garrett Wilson can get it, and he makes a beautiful catch where he puts both feet down, and it's a touchdown. And I see this, and I think to myself, all right, Rodgers is wearing 8 now. I get it. But who used to wear 17 for him? I mean, can this be his Devontae Adams? Can Garrett Wilson be his Devontae Adams? Can they have already an actual communication, nonverbal, where he just puts it where he needs to put it and Garrett Wilson grabs it? And I can't compute. I don't know how to compute all of these things. They make no sense to me. I don't get it. I feel I'm unfrozen caveman fan. I'm like your success confuses me. Your ability to succeed confuses me. I don't understand it. I don't. Because they've got the pieces. Sauce Gardner gives something to Rodgers from, has to be, we know this because he's established. It's Al the jeweler in his jewelry guy in New Jersey.
Yeah. Al's favorite
Al
player.
the jeweler, I know Al.
Al gave him an 8 pendant from Sauce that is all iced up, and Rodgers hugs it out with him, and this is the guy who put the cheese head on his head in Rodgers' house last year. You know, who went in last year, and when that success was happening, I'm like, I don't know how to handle this, except the fact I'm just going to enjoy the ride. And then we all know what happened, which is the usual trapdoor opening, and they suddenly couldn't win a damn thing because Zach Wilson couldn't do a damn thing. Breece Hall gets his knee blown out a week later. That's why, again, you make that face all you want, where you're like,
No. When you said his knee blown out, that was my reaction.
No, that's because these things happen, and I don't know how. That's why I'm going to have to take my cue from Rodgers, because all the things that need to be happening are happening.
Yeah, I'm not like Chris
I
here.
don't get it. I don't understand it.
Rich, I believe you guys are going to be very good
because they have
players.
The people.
That man makes whether you like Aaron Rodgers or you don't. That man makes throws that like no other quarterback can possibly make.
And he looks like, and the whole idea of, he tweaked his calf during the OTAs, or he was less than last year. We all know last year in Green Bay, no matter how much Mark Murphy is saying we're retiring his number when it's time. And that's why I was saying last year too, all this stuff that was going on between Rodgers and the Packers. Favre has his number retired there. And they all came back together. And they all will.
Yeah.
But the whole idea, though, that Rodgers is fried, toast. Last year, diminished returns were beginning to happen, and that's the Rodgers the Jets are going to get this year. Rodgers looks fresh. He said over the weekend he's already talking about playing multiple years for the Jets, and Saleh even said out loud he's expecting that out of Rodgers. And the Favre stuff, when he was with the Jets, we all know he was somewhat distracted while being there, and then used the Jets as a transfer portal to Minnesota because he wanted to get back at Green Bay. And this guy, who had the ice put around him by Sauce Gardner, doesn't appear to be a guy who's just there because he had to, like Favre, not just there because he wants to get revenge on the Packers and he's going to use this moment to get there. He looks like a guy, if you want to show that one more time there, Mike Hoskins, he just looks content. He looks like he's having fun. Sauce is putting this ice on him, and he's just like, okay,
chilling.
Young Turk, young Squire, I'm your guy. He's going along with it, and he's just like having a blast. And again, the guy putting the ice on him is the defensive rookie of the year, and the guy that Rodgers found in the back of the end zone, like they've been throwing and playing with each other for years, is the offensive rookie of the year. And I didn't even mention the all-pro monster that sat in Rodgers' lap in Green Bay last year like he was a mall Santa Claus. And Quinnen Williams has been signed. And Breece Hall coming back, and Elijah Vera Tucker coming back, and hopefully Mekhi Becton coming back. This is the reason why I'm freaking out, because the Jets have put the pieces together, and the coach is somebody who can actually lead those men. And they even got Rodgers' play caller in his ear that he wants from his 2 MVP seasons. So, Rodgers, I'm going to have to take a cue from you. I don't know how to handle this success. And then come the games.
Understandable.
Then come the games. And the rubber meeting the road, because the Jets, the schedule makers, didn't do them any favors by putting teams that missed the playoffs on their schedule in the front half or the front third. I mean, you got, again, you can never tell. But you've got Atlanta, Houston, and Washington and Cleveland all on their schedule, and they're all in the back third of the season. The front third is the defending AFC East champs, the runners-up in the NFC East last year, Then the Patriots. We all know about the seeing ghosts and everything right there. Then the Super Bowl champs. Then a visit to Denver where Breece Hall blew his friggin' knee out to take on Sean Payton and Russell Wilson before the defending NFC champs stroll in. Come on. A trip to Vegas, that doesn't start off the season as they're trying to figure out the light switch with Jimmy G. That doesn't happen until later. So these white throwbacks are going to have to really come on strong, and we'll see how we handle failure. Because that's inevitable in the NFL, and also as we Jet fans, it's tough. I just got to stop thinking that way. But it's tough. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.